I'm Lauren with Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be taking a detailed look at the Hex Aspect Sling, which I've been testing for the last 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So the materials on this one here are fairly simple. It's just a recycled 600D polyester. So bring that a little bit closer so you can get a detailed look. It does have a fairly durable feel to it, and in general it does have a little bit of cushion as well. And that cushion is for if you want to bring any sort of like camera gear. It adds a little bit of extra protection and padding. There's definitely not a large amount of protection and padding, so if you're used to something that's specific for camera gear, they do have some other products that are more geared towards that, or there are just generally other slings that are more padded and have a little bit of added protection on the inside. This is just sort of like a 2-for-1 deal. So it has a very sleek look to it. The branding here is pretty minimal. It's like it feels like Hypalon, but almost just like a little bit more rubbery and solid. But it's just sort of stitched on, gives a little bit of info about the brand, and it has a very technical look to it. So we also have reviewed their one of their other slings, the Evolve Sling. So that one has a similar design as well, but this one here is just a little bit on the sleeker side. So the profile itself is fairly simple. It does have the straps here have a little bit of added angle, so it lays a little bit more flat on your body, and then the actual strap itself is like a rougher seatbelt material, so it's fairly comfortable on. The one thing that I will note, I can actually show you, so this is really how it is extended all the way. So that's about as much extension of the strap as you're going to get. So looking at this on my actual body, you can see it fits, and it just kind of like hangs off. But if you look at it from the side, that's not a ton of extra room. And considering other body types and the fact that sometimes I will wear a bulkier jacket. So, when I've been testing this, the weather has been a little bit on the cooler side, and when I have a jacket on, I can find it a little bit difficult to get it on over the jacket, just because you don't have a ton of extra room to work with. So if you do have a larger chest size, or you just are generally larger than my frame, you could start to run into issues where it doesn't fit quite as comfortably. So kind of looking at it if I were to extend that strap a little bit, it's fairly easy. You just kind of shift the buckle as you would with really any sort of sling. And so I can make it fit a little bit tighter for me, for my frame. So this is more so how I would wear it in general. And I do really like the just general sleek look of it. I think it has like a sort of like edgy look without being too, professional or too technical. I think it kind of works that middle ground. So it is a nice, basic sling if you want something that you can wear with kind of anything. They don't give a specific capacity size, but with everything that you can fit inside, which I'll kind of detail out, you do have a decent amount of space to work with. So the outside of this, there are no additional pockets or anything like that, so everything that you have is going to go into that main compartment. So in terms of other things on the outside here, we have unbranded zippers and unbranded hardware. So the Evolve Sling did have YKK, so that's a little bit less of something that we like to see. Generally, we like the YKK brands, or even just anything branded, just because it gives us sort of a frame of reference for quality. But these ones don't have any sort of labeling on them. And then these zipper pulls have like these little heat shrinked ends here, and so that helps with fraying. So you do have 2 zippers, so you can open it on either side of your body, depending on if you wear it on the right or on the left, or if you like to keep your zipper at the top or the bottom. When I previously had it on, you can see it was pretty angled. So generally I like to keep these zippers towards the top side. So when I unzip, I'm unzipping with gravity, and I can kind of determine how I want how I want to access the stuff inside so that nothing falls out. So Kind of looking at the inside here, pretty basic. I've just got a wallet, some snacks, my keys, and my phone. And that pretty much took up this whole main compartment. But even with that, you still do have a decent amount of room to play with. You have this flat bottom, so it's super easy to pack everything in. But looking at the other pockets on the inside here, you've got a back zippered pocket with space for, you know, a passport or any sort of travel documents, or really anything you want to keep like super locked away. Meanwhile, there is another pocket on this side. So it does feel a little bit more secure than the one on the Evolve Sling. So the Evolve Slings one was like super, I guess it was kind of like, it felt like it fell forward a lot more than this one does. This one lays a little bit more flat to the design of this sling, but it has that same thing where you just have a very small Velcro attachment in the center. So anything that's on the smaller side can still fall out of these areas. So like, for example, I have in here a notebook and then a pen. But, you know, if I had the pen in here and it was just the pen, it can come out just by shaking it upside down. So I know, you know, we don't usually shake our slings upside down, but that's definitely something where, you know, if you're kind of throwing this around and things get jostled, they could technically jostle out of this pocket. They'll most likely jostle into the main compartment here, so it's not the end of the world unless it's open and it's like a whole thing. But in general, just kind of something to be aware of. But it has, you know, a decent amount of space in there if you wanted to, you know, load in a bunch of just quick grab items that you want to keep separate but don't need in a zippered pocket. You know, in general, I would say that there's, you know, a good amount of space for anything that you would do for like sort of everyday carry. And then what's great about that is that, you know, you can just kind of grab and go with everything in here. And then once it's packed out, it does kind of maintain that nice general shape. So whether you're doing everyday items or doing, you know, things that are a little bit more photography focused, this is a great pack for that. So there you have it, the Hex Aspect Sling. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel, and we'll see you in the next one.